hotter than fish grease where you are, but you want salad greens? Well, I have one for you that you might want to try. So stay tuned. And the green that I am referring to is Malabar spinach, and more specifically, red Malabar spinach. Welcome. My name is Msfullroller Cera, and here on my channel, we talk about gardening. We talk about dreadlocks, and specifically my fine-haired dreadlock journey. Talk about saving money, any little things that I come across, that I learn, I try to share with you all. But today, we are in the gardening section, in the garden, and we're going to talk about red Malabar spinach. So let's get started. What is Malabar spinach? Let's look at the family of red Malabar spinach. It belongs to the Fabaceaceae family. Not exactly sure if I have the pronunciation correct on that, but that's what we're going to go with. And this family belongs to the larger family of Caryophalates. Again, might not be the correct pronunciation. But within this large family are plants that we are quite familiar with, such as the dianthus, cacti, the carnation, the ice plant, and the beet. The beet that we eat. Hey, the beet that we eat. Hey, the beet that we eat. Yes, the beet. And as you can see, that familiar red stem. Now, the Malabar spinach, I believe it's the Latin name, is called Basala alba. And the rubra is the red-stemmed variety, aka red Malabar spinach. And it is an edible perennial vine. Perennial meaning comes back year after year after year. However, it is only a perennial in its native or similar climates. Where does it come from? It is native to the southern regions of Asia, the Indian subcontinent, and New Guinea. It is also found, and I believe it's been naturalized, in tropical Africa and Asia. Now, if we want to translate those particular growing zones, the climate, to, where would you find that similar climate here in the U.S.? Well, you got to go pretty far south. That I'm kind of thinking would translate to zones 10B. And you'll find those zones in the very southernmost parts of Florida, the southern tip of Texas, the southern parts of Arizona, New Mexico, and California. And also, of course, I'm pretty sure the northern part and all of the state of Hawaii and the territory of Puerto Rico. Now, this next clip that you are going to see is the clip of the footage that I shot in October of last year of the Malabar spinach that I grew. And I was growing this for the very first time last year. So that is why, even though I'm talking about, just in case you'll be wondering, since I'm talking about a hot weather plant, And why the heck am I wearing long sleeves? Because it was shot in October at the end of the season. And that is also why you will see the berries on this plant, because the plant, because it had cooled down in October, late October, it was going to seed. So let's get to
Royal Rising, everyone. Hey, how y'all doing? I hope everyone is doing well. Today, I am sharing with you another one of, and probably the last one of my particular summer crew planting. And this is called the Malabar Spinach. Now, it's not probably because now we have actually cooled down quite a bit, even though it's nice now, but those hot days are gone, so its production is slowed down quite a bit. And it is now focusing most of its attention on producing seed. But this is the Malabar spinach. And as you can see, it produces these edible, fleshy, round leaves. The leaves kind of have the shape of almost like a morning glory, just not quite as heart shaped, but a little bit of that heart. Let me kind of get myself positioned here. Yeah, it's almost kind of have that bit of a heart shape. You can really see it. Really see it right here in this big fat leaf. Now these leaves are definitely edible, as I said before. They are quite gelatinous, almost like an okra, just not quite. It doesn't quite have the same, and I hate to use this term, slime factor, but that juice, that gel that okra has, this one is kind of similar to that. They are tender, even though now these leaves are thicker. I don't know if you can tell that. They're much thicker than a spinach would be, than your spinach leaf, which you've seen that I had growing. But they're nice and tender. They're not tough. They might feel a little leathery, but they're not tough, because as you can see, I tore that little end off of that one. And I'm just going to go ahead and eat that. Hope nothing was on it. But yeah, they're very good in salads. I don't know about cooking them because my primary reason for growing greens is for salads, not necessarily for cooking. If I didn't already mention, this is a summer variety. It likes the heat. I kind of got a little bit of a late start with this one because I started the seeds. I was trying to make sure that they were ready to go once the heat started, and the seeds did not germinate because I started them a little bit too early, and we still had kind of a cool spell here. They will not. The seeds don't seem to want to germinate in temperatures below 50. I went ahead and started them, when it was kind of in the 40s around here. Even the nighttime temperatures. I'm not talking about daytime. The nighttime temperatures. And I thought for sure that they would, the seeds would germinate, and they did not. And I kind of, was disappointed, forgot about it, and didn't remember again until, I don't remember exactly, but there was at least 2 weeks to almost a month before I remembered to say, hey, maybe try them again. Once I found out that these do not like, those low nighttime temperatures. The temperatures must be you're probably stretching it at 50, at least 55 consistently at night. Then they germinated within like 2 days when I remembered to try them again later on. And that was probably early June. you know. So, hey, I'll get it together hopefully next summer because I will really do want to grow this one again. Now, what you're looking at here is the seeds. This is where the seeds are starting to, to form. It's going to seed. And these are, oops, didn't want to focus there. These are ready for harvest once they turn like that. These berries, I did try one. They don't have any taste to them. They're supposed to be nutritious, but they really don't have any taste to them. And the small seed is supposed to be on the inside. The one I harvested much earlier, I think I got it a little too early, so that's why I'm waiting before I get those. Oh, and these will stain your hands. Now, what I have also done is, because this all it was doing, and it will twine itself as long as you have something nearby for it to twine. All you got to do is just kind of get it started, and then it will continue to twine its way up the trellis. And it was sticking out, through here. I'll know next year when I do this to make sure to turn this trellis, completely flat so that I can sort of esplande it, because that's what has happened when I finally cut it off here. Then all these side shoots start coming out. It wasn't like this before. It was just going straight up, straight up the trellis. So I stuck this mason, the silver thing that you see on the outside, that's a mason ladder. And I stuck that in there, and just kind of as it started to go out, like that, then I let it kind of hook it on there, and it would just, as you can see, twine its way on up the top. So yeah, what I'm going to do next year is, like I say, make sure that this is turned flat ways, like that, and then take some string to go across here and, cut it. Make sure I'm not going to wait till they get way up here. I'm going to cut it probably once it reaches probably around, I don't know. I have to think about that, because I want to, my thought is to make sure that I've got, side branches, going straight out like the esplande, and I'm definitely probably butchering that. But yeah, again, this is if you live in a hot climate or have very even though you might have 4 seasons, but your summers are very hot, you might, and you want to have salad greens for the summer, you might want to give this a try. It's called the Red Malabar Spinach. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, now what you are seeing here are the seeds that I purchased from Baker Creek Seeds to grow that particular plant. So that's what they look like. And in this clip, those are the seeds that I harvested. The purple part that you saw, yes, I just clipped that off, wrapped it in a towel, and stuck it in a paper bag. And of course, they dried on their own. And you see that staining I was talking about? Yeah. And that comes from, when you try to crush that seed. So yeah, that's why I just said leave it in the towel and left it in the bag.
All right. Now here is the Malabar spinach. This was in the same exact pot last year. And this is one of the seeds, of course, that, blew into the pot. And during the couple of weeks hot weather that we had in, I believe it was May, it has germinated all by itself. So apparently the need to get rid of that outside coating, like the seeds come when you buy them from somewhere else, is not necessary. And as you can see, it has also reached out and has on its own started twining its way up this mason ladder. So yes, just wanted to show you that, so that you can see that under the right temperatures it will germinate on its own. You do not have to try to get that, sting your hands to try to get that coating off. Okay, let's oh, I wanted to also cover how I harvested that for continual growth. Because like I said, that's the same plant. All I did was cut the leaves, individual leaves off. And of course, leaving some leaves so that the plant can continue to photosynthesize and feed itself and continue to grow. Okay, the growing conditions that this particular plant requires is full sun. Full sun meaning a full sun. Now, it will do well in a little slightly less than full sun because my yard now does not get as much full sun as it did when I first had my trees cut down. But because my neighbor's trees, and it has, it's been some years since that was done, have gotten much taller. The front part of my backyard that used to be long hours of full sun, I don't get quite as much as I used to. But I would say put this in the area of your yard that gets the most, gets the most hours of sun and the hot sun. It can take that western and southern sun. As a matter of fact, it requires it to grow, to grow correctly, because remember, it is a tropical plant. And speaking of tropical, that's where it typically grows in sandy, loamy soil. Now, the potting soil that I use is quite sandy, and I will cover that in another video. So let's talk about the benefits. Malabar spinach is rich in vitamin A, vitamin C, iron, and calcium. And that's probably pretty apparent from that deep, very deep emerald green that these leaves have. And they taste very similar to spinach. May have just a slightly stronger taste than your regular spinach. And if I did not mention it, this is not a true spinach, but I guess because it has the same veining like the low growing spinach does, I guess that's why they gave it that spinach name. And of course, the other benefits of Malabar spinach is you can have leafy greens throughout the heat of the summer. And in the areas of your yard where your cool season greens, like your kale, your collard greens, the low growing spinach, cabbages, when those type of greens want to bolt meaning go to seed, and your cool season greens go to seed
when the temperatures, when it starts to get very, very warm. Um, Now, I do not have shade cloth, but since I grow in containers, I can move my greens up towards the house where there will be shaded from most of the southern and western sun. However, the cabbage moth, it's they still seem to be quite stressed, and I feel like when a plant is stressed, that's when it's more susceptible to be attacked, or can be more easily attacked by its predators or whatever you want to call it. And cool season greens love to be eaten by the cabbage moth. And for me, the kales, trying to get kale, lettuce is another, green. Trying to get those greens um, to continue to produce through the summer. It's been a losing battle. It seems like the cabbage moth, and I go out there every day, try to get it off, keep them off of there, and it's like, as soon as you turn your back, they're like, buffet. There's a buffet over there. Let's go get those greens. So I was absolutely thrilled when I found out about this green because, as I mentioned, it comes from the tropical environments, which means it likes the heat. It likes it hot.
I hope you all enjoyed that. I hope it was informative and useful for you. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up and come back, subscribe, make sure that you hit that bell so that you're notified of any and all new content. And until next time, I'll see you all later.